Hi there! You are now watching another VideoGaming Father's review of retro beat'em up game called Bud Spencer Terence Hill, Slugs and Beans. It's going to be the same fun as a classic movie with two guys and the name of the game. Is there an interesting story based on the movies with the spaghetti western heroes? Is the gameplay limited to beating your enemies up, or are there any other interesting game mechanics? Does the game have responsive controls and reasonable difficulty? Just keep watching and we will find out soon if the devs deserve our compliments or rather slaps. The game with two movie action heroes from 70s and 80s is calling for some story, doesn't it? And it's really there. Bud and Terence take a long journey where they must thwart the diabolical plans of a group led by an evil couple. It is actually a set of scenes from the famous movies of this action duo, but with a new plot that gives some sense to this interesting mix and remain crazy enough as most of Bud and Terence's movies. Despite rather simple, the story pays a great tribute to this popular duo, and if you love their movies, you will most likely love the game. But is there something that can attract even players that are not familiar with our dynamic duo movies? Let's take a look at the gameplay first. In the beginning you choose the hero you want to play for. Unsurprisingly, you have a choice between Bud and Terence. The good thing is that the game supports local co-op, so both heroes can be controlled by players. This is an undisputable plus for the game, and the more players the more fun rule is definitely valid. But even if you play alone and the second character is controlled by a computer, you will not get bored soon. Why is that so? The first thing is the variety of locations. If you are at least a little bit familiar with Bud and Terence's movies, you will recognize many scenes from their famous spaghetti westerns and also urban chaos movies. If not, you will be pleasantly surprised that you will not be fighting in one environment too long. So far I've seen classic western town, saloon, running train, TV studio and country racing scene. The second reason why the game does not become stereotype soon is the variety of actions. Despite being pure beat-em up game, there are many minigames that helps to make the gameplay more variable. For example, shooting minigame when there is a moving shooting indicator and you need to hit the button at the right moment when it's on your enemy's body, or the horse ride when you need to navigate your horse not to get hit by the items that your enemy is throwing at you from the running train. Some of them are more entertaining, some of them less, but they definitely enrich the gameplay. How is it actually played then? Well, the gameplay is not overly complicated. You have 4 different actions: fast attack, heavy attack, block, and grab, and by their combination you are able to handle any enemy even when you are heavily outnumbered. And same as in their movies, Bud and Terence are heavily outnumbered even here. The action is rather funny than serious, but you would not expect anything else, would you? For example, Terence can jump over bending enemy or step on his toes, while Bud can grab playing enemy and throw him against his companions. Both characters endure a lot of hits, and you can regularly refill your character's health bar by drinking beer or eating beans that are left by some eliminated enemies. You are also collecting points, but I have not found any usage for them. The variety of moves would be probably not sufficient for some serious beat-em-up game, but in this humorous game you just enjoy the ways your enemies are slapped and hit, jumping on one leg or shouting "sorry boss" while being thrown against their companions. Just pure fun. The second character controlled by computer helps you in a reasonable manner. He is actively beating enemies but leaving enough of them for you, so well done here. You can even do some combos if the poor enemy finds himself between the Bud and Terence and each of them is hitting him from one side. Then he must feel like a cat in the washing machine. And if the second character is controlled by your relative or friend, it must be even more entertaining. As for the minigames, they are usually not too complicated. You just need to hit the right button at the right time. To be honest, I have not enjoyed beer and hot dog contests too much. It's the variety to the Guitar Hero, for example, when you need to press the sequence of buttons at the right moment. Unluckily, it's too long, and the computer control character is almost flawless, so it's rather painful than fun. But otherwise, it's good that the minigames are there to make the game more variable. How about the difficulty and controls? The game is rather easy, especially its beating above par. As I have already mentioned, the characters endure a lot of hits and they have a chance to refill their health bar quite often. So the difficulty is rather set to enjoy the fun of beating them, to request the preciseness and strategic thinking what type of punch and block needs to be used there. The minigames are slightly harder, but except the one with beer and hot dogs, they are not too difficult either. As for controls, when beating up, you are just smashing the buttons and enjoy the fun of consequences of your character actions, so nothing could be wrong there. When it comes to the minigames, they are based on pressing the buttons at the right moment, and I can say that the controls are responsive enough, so if you fail to do the right action at the right moment, it's rather caused by clunky fingers than clunky controls. Let's have a look at the graphics, music and sounds. The graphics is classic pixel art style in the good way of meaning. The game is nicely colorful with many objects in the background and good level of detail for such style. The characters really remind the actors in their best shape, the enemies looks like classic dumb enemy characters from the movies, and the dialogues remind me the style of classic LucasArts adventures, not only by the font style and colors of the text, but also by the sense of humor. Well done again! As for the music, the soundtrack consists of tracks from these action duo movies. There are slower western songs and faster beat-em-up music tracks, but for me the soundtrack is great. Nicely fits the game, and I could even listen it outside of the game, so it's another big plus. Sounds are also good and help to create a fun atmosphere here. Everyone who knows the movies will probably recognize many of songs from them. The only shame is that the dialogues are not dubbed, but I can understand why this is so. Rest in peace, Bud. Let's get to the final conclusion. Bud Spencer and Terence Hill Slaps and Beans is a great tribute to the Bud and Terence's movies, which I personally have spent many hours of fun with. It brings the atmosphere of the movies to the video game. It's funny and dynamic. It has entertaining gameplay, funny story and dialogues, reasonable difficulty, responsive controls, wide variety of scenes, nice graphic, fantastic soundtrack and good sounds, and last but not least, the local co-op. There is not much to criticize this game for. There could be maybe some light RPG elements where you could use your points to improve your character stats, and some minigames could be less painful, or if you fail it, you should not at least to go through the whole dialogue that precedes it. It's very suitable for family playing, thanks to the sense of humor, reasonable difficulty and local co-op. The game costs €20 on Steam, which is a little pricey, so I would recommend waiting for some discount, but even if you are willing to pay the full price for it, you will not be disappointed, I guess. I have really enjoyed playing this game, and thus I am giving Bud Spencer and Terence Hill Slaps and Beans thumbs up, and VideoGaming Father's index 8+ out of 10. Thank you for spending your time by watching my video review, and if you like it, please give it a thumb up, and also do not forget to subscribe to my VideoGaming Father's channel. Hope to see you soon again!